I know there was a lot of criticisms we've seen with like 369's build and going towards that maw against the composition that they had. But here we go. Sides did end up swapping through. Weibo so far gonna keep the same bans. JDG actually the ones to change things up, not wanting to deal with Karsa's Elise once again.
So the biggest question is, are we going to see that Varus left through for WeiboGaming on the other side? Because it was Varus first for Ruler on JDG, and then we saw a bit of a response in terms of jungle. What was it, Lyric? Was it jungle mid? No, jungle support. The Ashe priority actually was seen on Weibo on red side.
I'm looking at if Weibo want to put like a really high priority going onto Ashe here. But now Zeri's banned, you're right that the Varus can just be the takeaway. Light actually hasn't played it so far this split, but things like the Ashe, Lucian Nami, you know, that coveted duo is still open if they wanted to go for one of those laners here as well. Looks like they will. Crisp sitting at 100% win rate, 25.5 KDA on the Nami so far.
Okay, so a response you would imagine would JDG just pick up the Lyric, the Varus Ashe themselves is a handshake or what?
They could. It looks like right now that's what they're hovering. We've seen even if something like the Lucian did end up getting taken away, I believe the other thing that Lights played with the Nami was actually the Caitlyn, so you also have that has to be on your mind. But wanting to go with the Ashe themselves, Crisp having a phenomenal game one. We're going to see what Missing is able to do on it this time around. 2 games so far, and just such an incredible pick. Even going beyond you know, just the push in lane, right? The Enchanted Crystal Arrow, like we saw in last game, the Hawk Shot, and how much information that gives you. But Weibo with a really fast second rotation, they get the Lucian Nami combo, gonna have a lot of strength and all-in potential there. We saw how much impact this had earlier on in the day with IG's on, just putting on just a show on it, and Karsa getting what I would say is one of the champions I more associate with modern-day Karsa, and just going straight towards that Sejuani.
Oh yeah, like past 3 years. This, Zach. I'd throw the least in, I guess, in there as well, considering what we've seen.
Gragas is still a pick. Like, even if it's really never met in the jungle, Karsa will still bring it out at least once, almost every split. He even has already this split, so.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of champions I think I could associate with Karsa, but nevertheless, look, on the other side, Monkey comes out for Knavi, so we get the Wukong finally here tonight. But my biggest question is what we get in the top lane again, because last time around, Lyric, it was like 4 top lane bans, maybe even 5, where the Shy just defaulted to Sion while 369 pulled out the Aatrox matchup instead.
Yeah, banning out the Gnar once again. For Weibo, I wonder if you keep similar bans as game one and you take away... Actually, it was Weibo who banned the Gnar in game one, so the ban's actually going to reverse. They're going to be the ones taking away the Jace, wanting to get the Shy off of that dominant forest, and we might end up in a position where we once again kind of end up in the tier 2, tier 3 pool of top laners. Both compositions this time around set up for, I think, pretty strong like team fight setups coming on through. And JDG not wanting to deal with the amount of frontlining the Shy can be able to put up with that Sion.
It's banned away. I just love it. I love that the respect's still given over by JDG. On the other side, as we said, you know, things from 369. Syndra going to be taken away from Knight instead, so looking towards the mid lane matchup. Now the biggest question is whether they get 369 or they leave it for a counter. Either way, it's going to be going towards the solo lane as Lyric. This could still technically be a flex as we've seen before and would take away from the Sejuani potency of WeiboGaming.
Yeah, it would be a flex. It's something I'd want to highlight as well, especially when something like Gragas is always open for 369 as like an AP option if they wanted that, but instead going to just go straight towards the Sylas for Knight and, you know, have things like the Nami and Sejuani ultimates that they're able to pull from. And now this is where I'm more curious, especially with the Shy, where I feel like he typically is on a much... I feel like he has like a more defined pool, and then he kind of brings out his more unique counters like the Nidalee from beyond that. They're going to be the ones to take away the Renekton, which is actually one... The Shy's always been, especially in recent years, like one of the people who've not really fallen on like, hey, I'm going to pick Renekton every game train. So it is quite nice to see from him. And now with the Rise being hovered, I'd expect this to come on through. You have some really good side lane options to be able to play around with that Realm Orb. And now setting up 369
Lyric
to be able to look for a counter in topside.
I mean, I know, like, we're probably past the Gragas. I love how you just before, you were like, oh, maybe he picks up the Gragas against Carter. Surely
well?
he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Surely he wouldn't.
Like, you're looking at an AP top laner here probably for 369. You have Gragas, you have Kennen kind of being the two signature 369 champions. Goes for the Gragas. If you missed the walkout, Karsa walked in. He had a dice with all threes on it. He had the Gragas barrel as well. So I would love if you've seen Bob's Burgers for Karsa to be Tina looking at him like he's Jimmy Jr. Just like a snack up in the top side and giving the Shy lots of attention, setting 369 behind.
The fact that you would do this when Karsa literally trash talk you and brought up again the memes behind the scene of his bomber getting absolutely thrown to dirt. It's hilarious that Game 2, 369 is going to pull it out. So props to him. I feel like it's a bold move, but Lyric, I want to know a little bit more about what this does because we have so much CC on the side of JDG. Like everyone has an ability to lock someone down or at least knock them up.
JDG are the ones I'm more curious to see how this pans through. Obviously, having the Ashes time around that bot side and trying to generate the push for themselves. Top lane should be a little bit of a wash. You know Shahu will get pressure early on, so a lot's going to be in Kanavi's hands and what he's able to do. Once Missing hits that level 6 mark, I think it's going to be about comboing them up, Enchanted Crystal Arrow, set Kanavi up for a gank somewhere on the map, to where we know for Weibo, it's about the rise, using that realm warp. You have the Sejuani synergy with the Renekton to take down 369, but I'm still looking at Light to be the big carry threat on this team for WeiboGaming.
Okay, well, we've already seen the Lucian take over tonight, but ladies and gentlemen, as we run into Summoner's Rift, yet again, Weibo opened up this series with a huge Game 1 statement with great team fighting. Looking towards people like Karsa here yet again, especially with the Shy in that solo melee matchup. Lyric, you already talked about it. Level 6 will be looking out for Xiaohu, considering that it'll be about impacting those side lanes and making sure that he can really get the ball rolling as well. Let's see if Ruler has a better game. As the crowd is out in force yet again. I mentioned that because Ruler Game 1, I think he was probably one of the most absent people. I guess the bottom lane in general for JDG was, as they weren't played towards it all.
Yeah, they lost out in lane, and then it felt so hard for Ruler to be able to auto-attack in those team fights. He wasn't able to find an impact in that game, right? Where this time around, I mean, we look, the Devil Halo Blades coming out. They should be able to generate some priority for themselves, and then give Kanavi an avenue to play around. This game should definitely set up for some explosive team fights as well, because both have just such huge, like, I mean, Sejuani on one side, all the team fight ultimates on the side of JDG. Knight can be able to steal things away. Both 369 and Kanavi able to go in, but up until then, I think it's going to be about Weibo disrupting that, kind of pulling JDG apart and finding the picks for themselves.
Look, speaking of opening things up early, this ward that comes through, just going to see that Ruler and Missing are trying to abuse this early lane state, as even against the turret. Okay, well, we get a bit of an insight why Varus and Ashe, even from level 1, are a pain to deal with. Look at it go. Oh, 80 carries. Can't live without them.
Weibo feeling a little bit all right to go for those trades, though, considering that they at least have the sustain from Nami coming through, right? I mean, they had wards in both Tri-Brush and the Lane Brush to be able to get a lot of this damage onto Missing and Ruler, so even if it does look like they lost out, still going to be feeling fine. But look at this, not even able to walk up to the wave, Missing, just completely zoning them out. That's such an annoying champion.
Oh, dude. And has been for a while. You know, the fact that we're seeing it yet again, Ashe has just been a pain for the past 6 months. Halo Blades, people kind of forget, 110% on your autos once you've already applied an auto with Frosters. Forget my information, because mid, yeah, Shahu in a bit of trouble, but Phase Rush gets him out of there without having to use the Summoner.
Great by him leaning down towards that bottom side, knowing that's where his jungler is. And does manage to get away there just with the Phase Rush. So right now, a bit of a split on the map in terms of we see the Shy pressure in top side, JDG full control on bot, and Kanavi wanting to be a little bit cheeky, wrapping around even dodges the ward.
Round number 2, Lyric, as you said, going to be big as Flash now burnt. Kanavi spotted out as Karsa's coming to the bottom lane. It's going to get revenge here for the massive push from Ruler and Missing. First Flash burned out as Missing might have to get his as well, but it's matched. Karsa hits the volley. Permafrost Arrow's light as the flash into the corner, but first blood still goes over. 3 versus 1, but he's getting help. Kanavi's coming down as Light has to get the hell out of there. Flail yet again. Kanavi flashes on in. Light, Chris flash as well. Casa burns his but can't get out. It's a response, a 1-for-1, and Kanavi will now reign in the jungle.
The bigger thing is that Light now has to reset, so Ruler going to get that wave in and deny some gold.
Oh,
we haven't done
hang on a minute.
Kill it topside?
He's got the armor trading, but it's Gragas. It's Gragas. Oh, get ready, Bomba!
369 is so proficient on this champion. It's why it's one of his comfort pocket picks that he always loves to bring out. Finds the win up against the Shy up in top lane. And we're just trading action all over the map. We're going to get to see the replay here. Light going in for the initial trade. Not exactly able to follow as fast as they want, but they get the first flash. But look bottom left-hand side. 2v2 in mid.
Oh, yeah. It's gone to Duck doesn't connect as we're about to go to live,
Xiaohu
ladies
goes
and
down.
gentlemen. Knight has just gotten Xiaohu. Replay, man. Give it up. We get it. We love replays too. But right now, things are happening towards mid. As who died? It was just Xiaohu in the end, Lyric. But that is just a great start for JDG across the map. Like 1.5k gold lead. Knight now with a kill. Gragas
We're
with a kill
4
too.
minutes in. We have all flashes down except up in the top lane. We have, like, you know, heal down in bot side coming from both sides. A barrier down, just so much going down, so much early action coming through. This is where JDG have looked the strongest this split, which is in like the first like 10-15 minutes of the game. And if they can generate that size of a lead, they have just snowballed out of control. One of our win cons for Weibo coming into today was making sure that that doesn't happen, because in mid-game Weibo have looked incredibly proficient. We see Karsa now wrapping around for a potentially cheeky gank onto the bot side, but Kanavi's also making his way down here.
As look, top side continues to be JDG favored, it seems like, even though with the CS lead here, we're looking up top side just to watch 369 play with the Shy a little bit. And we'll see how that develops, as bottom side doesn't envelop anything for the time being. Control ward gonna spot Kanavi coming down towards Tribrush, but Casa's ready to react here. Looks like WeiboGaming Lyric want to give a bit of priority down there, considering how far behind they've fallen. You talked about Light missing a wave before, but I didn't think it was that bad. Like, look at the difference.
Well, remember, they were even getting zoned off the wave at like level 1. It's been a lot of these like small things leading up to this sizable advantage. Now also Knight hits 6 before Xiaohu, so he has the pressure for mid lane to be able to potentially move.
Nice.
And JDG just doing a nice job of making their centerpiece of their map play right now all about mid and bot. You know Gragas, such a self-sufficient, independent drunk man. He's got top on lock all by himself.
Like every drunk man, you know, I could walk from the city of Sydney to home. It's like, it'd probably be a 4-hour walk, but I'd make it. That's what happens when you drink whatever the pink stuff is. There's Weibo, hang on, Realm Warps come through. You talk about the level 6 and Lyric. Into fruition, it finds itself, especially with those flash timings. Nowhere near off the cooldown. Xiaohu with kill number 1, missing buying time, but giving kill number 2 over as well. WeiboGaming are back in this game, Lyric, and it's thanks to good old Blue Man in the mid lane.
Shy!
Oh, clean. Flashes back out though, hang on. Turret shot, only one of them. As 369 is trying to wait it out. He's got flash available. You better believe he wants to do it. There he goes. Into melee range, the Shy. Still alive, 369. Now waiting for him to come out. Do a barrel roll, man. But hang on, the healing's there as well. You're right. Is it enough? It is. 369 part 2, man. This Gragas is rolling 9s.
You know, the Shy playing so incredibly confidently, so close to 369's turret. How many times do we need to see an enemy top laner get Gragas cast into that turret? We're going to get a replay of what happened in bot. We knew once level 6 mark came, they can look for this play. Flashes were blown in the earlier exchange, setting it up. That's why Weibo are allowed to kind of divvy their attention like this, knowing they have first move, knowing the flashes aren't here, to just guarantee both kills and not overstack to one area. But here the Shy slices and dices both of them in the direction of 369's turret. Does end up getting away, but the abilities are there. Gragas is pretty low mana cost as well, so I like 369 waits this out, gets the W and a bit of healing from the passive, and the Shy still biding his time, waiting for his Q to come up. Tries to get off the empowered stun, doesn't come through. Maybe it would have even been better to go for like the empowered Q there, but I think 369 probably still would have won out. Found the kill.
Used it on the minion wave. The Shy was like, I want healing and I want it fast, but Lyric, the emote game on point here for 369. Stuns go in the air as that's the second solo kill here against the Shy. And even though this Renekton has a CS lead, 369 in a very good spot. But Lyric, how long will we say that if Cast is able to get in?
You know, we're gonna see, but both junglers here now. They have these different options.
Ulti not going to come through. There it comes late, but the Shy, yeah, you know what? That Cast up. The Shy's probably like, dude, not the play.
No. I also want to highlight that, you know, we said drafted, like, when I think of the Shy, I don't really think of Renekton. He's played it 16 times in his career, so not like a terribly high amount, but also not in the single digits. They might need to pause on that as Karsa shouldn't be able to do anything here. But yeah, point is, not really, you know, the Renekton player, right? You were right, Nars is the most played, Jace is up there, Kennan's up there, Sion's surprisingly up there. A lot of these champions a lot more synonymous with our boy in the top side.
Not going to silhouette the Realm Warp, worth mentioning because we've got Dragon about 145. Okay, Realm Warp won't be up then, but Herald is sitting there for a response play. And Lyric, everyone's moving up there. Ultimate's available. Missing has an ult advantage actually over Crisp, so we're going to have a big fight over the remains of this Herald.
Knight very low on mana though. Shouldn't have too much really off the full combo. Weibo.
It's a fake. Realm Warp, Eye exposed, Smite goes down, but the Enchantress Power comes through. WeiboGaming need to pick up the Herald as they do, as that tidal wave actually came up in the end for Chris, but waiting for Kanavi to ult, but it's not available, so Shy goes into a choke yet again, meets with Gragas, but saved. Xiaohu, my brother, he's going to be latched onto by Knight, who flashes away. It's getting a little bit messy. Weibo trying to go back in, and that's what I love about these two teams, Lyric. They are scrappers through and through.
Yeah, Weibo even managed to get out with Herald and lose nothing. You look at the waves, not really in a position to where JDG should be able to punish and really get too much down. Shy even having TP, get back up the top. Maybe I spoke too soon though.
He's okay, all right. I was thinking for a second, Lyric. He stepped up a bit close to an Ashe, but no ultimate available, of course.
Do you think another solo kill happens in top lane?
I think it does, dude. What do we know?
I think so too. I feel it. I feel the solo kill vibes coming.
Do you know? I looked up his death ratios, kill death ratio in his career the other day again, because I thought maybe the Shy's gotten back over kills again. I think he's still 100 or 150 deaths over his kills at the moment. So 0-3 and 0-5 in the last game, not helping out with that.
No,
it's a sad ratio to have.
369 now just generating so much pressure, but I kind of want to turn our attention back down to bot because Dragon's coming up. You can already see JDG's members working their way into river. Missing was just there right before we panned to bot. Knight had also made his way down, so a tremendous amount of vision control coming from JDG's side. Not even only in bot, all across the map, JDG have lit up with wards. They will know every move that Weibo are looking to make.
God, the cameraman's obsessed. The cameraman doesn't care. He literally doesn't care about anything else. He just stands for the Shy, who's a level and a half behind. I mean, nothing's
369, you know? We don't know which way it goes.
That's true. I mean, I would at this point. 369 is bodying him. As you said, low mana cost. It doesn't matter. How much is he getting from Grasp at this point? Holy moly. Yeah. Lordship. Now what? Cameraman? He's on vacation.
Wait, look, both teams are posturing around Dragon, Mr. Observer. Like, let's chill a little bit, my dude. Is JDG looks like they should get this, but Weibo might end up posturing in the end. They have calling, they have the tidal wave there. Xiao's pushed in mid, so looks like they will off out at the end of the day. I wonder if Xiao will be able to get a turret plate off this in response. No, can't even get that. And even this lean up towards top side shouldn't really result in anything since 369 went for that base. Oh wait, Xiaohu.
He's going in deep. Now he did this towards mid, but as the arrow flies through, is this a ruse? Oh! Props to Chris, sorry, for missing, for throwing it out. As Xiaohu's already away, Glacial Prison flashed into. Apparently, Knight can see the future. Xiaohu's summoner now down in Lyric. WeiboGaming getting caught out a little bit here in this game. This does feel like a very WeiboGaming type of game.
I feel like that should have been a kill, though. Had Kanavi not been scared off by Karsa, like the comm's been a little bit better. I don't know if they were afraid of maybe like someone's bot lane moving over, but Kanavi walking forward, you didn't catch out Xiaohu like going for the flash. You have your ability to jump in. So I think Xiaohu getting away should feel a little bit happy there, kind of given over by JDG. Still, JDG get the sums, so will be something that you can look to exploit in the future.
As they're going to make a play into the bottom lane. Look where Knight missing out of this is going to be dangerous. Cast are putting out their Herald. Timing not on their side. And tidal wave, Cast is like the only way out is through. But his whole team going to die with him as well. It seems as double flash going to be burnt down. Herald goes for the charge. Lyric, I believe, as a jungler, you still get the gold even if you're dead. So gold will still go over. But Casa does die in an unfortunate position for it.
The Observer brings us back to the brawl.
What's happening top lane? Oh,
feels more
fun.
like top lane pro view stream than anything else is Weibo.
True.
Looks like hoping that JDG would make a misstep in bot lane and be able to find a bit of a pick, but it's not going to come through. Weibo, we're setting up to drop Herald bot and go for a push, but JDG were already wrapping around. Look at Xiaohu, he was on a reset timing, so it sets up for numbers again and sets up for the wraparound from JDG to just pincer Karsa in. He had nowhere to go. And it ends up going down.
Hey, this is the important stuff. Yeah, forget any part of the replay. That's enough. We don't need to see anything else. Let's just watch top. Let's just chill out here and watch top, dude. The Shy with his Iron Spike Whip. And 369, who's just gone shopping, but hasn't really bought a meal. You know, he bought the Arborea rice, but no mushrooms for the risotto.
He's like one of those people, you know, you go to McDonald's and you don't buy like, you know, a number 4. You buy like,
number
you know,
4.
2 double cheeseburgers and maybe like fries separately and a McChicken.
What is the number 4? What do you mean number 4?
I don't know what the number 4 is.
Number 4.
I guess the number 4 would be different depending on the country of the McDonald's you're visiting. You know what I mean?
You say what you want, not a number 4. It's not like the DMV or something. Like, you literally go in and you say, I want a Big Mac.
What would you order at a DMV that would be a number 4?
It just sounds like something American. I don't know. Number 4, like a hairstyle or something. I go into...
I don't know if it's a hairstyle either. Number 4?
Number 4, I'll go in. That's a challenge for anyone out there. Go in and say, I want a number 4 and see what they do.
I think we're both wrong on everything we said.
Well, when I go into Macca's, I will say I'll have a quarter pounder, or I don't know why in Australia we call it quarter pounder.
When I get the haircut I need, I'll say I want a number 4 and see what they say.
Okay, well please do that. Next time you go into McDonald's, ask for a Royale with cheese. And see what they give you, man. Because I went to Amsterdam and I didn't go to McDonald's. I still regret it to this day. But I'm pretty sure it's not just a Pulp Fiction thing. It's actually they call it a Royale with cheese. Or Quentin Tarantino has pranked me, dude. I don't know. I'm gonna go back to Amsterdam.
You know, this is match of the week, and that time it kind of was my fault that we went off track. Dragon though, Dragon.
Hey,
50
Dragon.
Seconds.
Where's top lane? Top lane not important. Dragon, you're right. That's it. That is going to be third Dragon for JDG.
Has finally chilled and accepted nothing's going to come up. Weibo are the ones. Resets coming off first, so they get first push on the mid wave. Looks like JDG are going to try and create a point of pressure through bot side with Knight TPing there to push this out now. But he might regret that.
Well, Knight has the Realm Warp zone though, but the problem is he can't channel it. It's been locked in place. Great Aqua Prison as well as Knight. The kill's trying to be given over. Chris got it out of all 4 of them. But it is going to be the pick before that Dragon spawns up, Lyric. However, what is JDG's response?
Looks like JDG using that Herald in mid. I was going to TP in, but they are not going to be able to stop this. I wonder if they're going to look for Dragon first and try to threaten a collapse, but with Light staying down to catch wave and bot, they really don't have any options to do anything.
This Herald's going to get another charge here for the meanwhile. Casa thinking about going in, but doesn't have that Glacial Prison. Dragon still sits there. Dragon continues to sit there, and here we go again. All right, well, what's happening up here? It's like putting on, you know, the ABC in the middle of the day. I'm trying to make it less Australian. It's like watching Bold and the Beautiful. What rubbish that is. Let's look at Dragon, and it's going to go to JDG for number 3.
I mean, JDG, they've been I think significantly the team on the front foot in the early game, right? We don't have a huge gold lead so far, not even a big kill lead, only 2 more for JDG. But look at that, sole point already at not even 19 minutes into the game. They really have just been the ones running the map. A lot of that coming down to their control over this bottom side. And it's like, cool, 369, 2-0 up. Doesn't even feel like that's been the defining point of the game, right? It's the fact that Ruler, quiet in game 1, now 30 CS lead in game 2.
Yeah.
Is going to poke variant of Varus this time around as well.
Hang on. Well, this could be a solid kill for the Bolts, but the Shy does have a bit more health to work with now, especially with the Gore Drinker. Half health is going to heal up and get the Fury up as well. Missing's already used the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but Kanavi's coming in. The question is Carter and Crisp going to make a bigger difference as JDG is still setting up? Crisp, I believe, might be spotted, or either way, JDG are going to back off. So they continue to try to make this play on the top side. I want to come back to what you said, Lyric. Ruler is a bit more vocal this time around. That CS lead is important. Important to note how it started in the lane with Missing just doing so well on this Ashe. And I feel like we can say that for JDG through both games, right? Their lanes have been pretty solid apart from bottom lane in game 1 where WBG just abused it to high health.
Yeah, they look good. Even this game around, Light Chris maybe not able to find the same takeover so far, but looking pretty sturdy. Right now it's about reinforcing the Shine, making sure that he doesn't get too much over, but it feels like this is a losing battle. JDG aren't going to be able to guarantee give another turret. Weibo still haven't picked up the first one.
Yeah.
I'd kind of like to get to the point where hopefully we see the Shine Xiaohu play a little bit together, especially when Xiaohu's TP comes up. But it might be JDG actually the ones to look for this play on sides first.
Arrow. Oh, okay, Xiaohu plays it in. Gets that objective bounty, so finally the first turret comes through. Lyric, you were saying, you know, you want to see Xiaohu link up a bit, use that realm wall. That's what we're talking about in pick and ban. Is that simply just the easiest condition right now for WeiboGaming, or is there something else that kind of elevates them into a stronger mid game approaching this fourth dragon?
No, I think it's definitely looking for that pick somewhere, even if it's not like, you know, hovering over and making a realm ward play with your team. Like him and the Shy going for one of those double soul lane plays on sides. You lean over, you look for the pick. If the enemy starts the objective on the opposite side, well, the Shy will have TP to join in, even if Xiaohu doesn't. So at worst, it'll be a 4v4. And at best, you make that play when Xiaohu's TP is up, which is very soon. And then you can look to not only find that pick, but then maybe get something aggressive on the opposite side of the map as well. So really looking at Xiaohu to be the one to make something happen for Weibo, or JDG seem fine to just keep playing out at this pace, wait for the next dragon to come up, and keep relying on the pick potential of Missing's Enchanted Crystal Arrows.
As Nut's going to be walking into Fog of War. As you were saying, Missing's arrows, also Knight with his stolen Glacial Prison seemed like a big factor as 369 is charging down his old jungler. Maybe it's personal here between the top lane of JDG. Is yet another turret's going to go down. More gold. It's a clean game so far. We got really scrappy in the first 15 minutes, but now JDG, as you were saying, don't have to worry about anything.
Do you remember the first 4 minutes when we had 8 flashes blown? And
oh
ever
yeah,
since then,
I remember that.
Very much cooled down. To be fair, right? Like there might not be kills going over, but JDG just rotating pretty much the whole squad around the map, constantly taking up objectives. So they're doing exactly what they need to do. Now trying to circle around on Parsa, who might have nowhere to go.
Well, Realm Warp is going to come through. I'm wondering about what that is. Looks like that was Xiaohu who got out of there in the nick of time as Cart's going to be saved up by the rest of his team. Arrow does hit onto Xiaohu, but he's got Merc Threads here. The turnaround, the flash away from Missing his Carter in the wrong angles. The Shy's frontlining for the time being. JDG are playing off of a wing here, but it'll be good enough, especially since the Shy is left alone. Good health bars to work with as well. Good Aqua Prison, but hey, look at the turn on this side. Carter flashes over. Light helps get down Ruler. Beautiful pick from absolutely nothing, but an explosive Carter 9. You've done it again. Joe running forward, so this fight ain't over. Is Missing now caught out. How they won that in the end, I just don't know. The bottom lane from JDG is dead.
Ruler, a man that we have highlighted and praised, is, I mean, right, coming out from last year, him and Viper were the 2 best AD carries in the world. And the show he's been putting on so far in the LPL has been a sight to see, but I mean, we'll get the replay and we'll see it, but Ruler flashing over that wall straight to the waiting and loving arms with Weibo was quite the misstep coming out. It's going to open up the trade. It's going straight to Weibo, so no soul for JDG at the 23-minute mark.
An objective bounty picked up yet again. Remember that even though WeiboGaming aren't that far behind, that objective bounty is going to put them in such a good place here in this game as Baron's being threatened by JDG. Everyone's back alive, missing as that enchanted crystal arrow. It's going to be flown out, but I'm not sure, missing ironically enough with his name. Not sure where that one was going. It's locked up again. Aqua Prison thrown out, but also the ultimate from the Sejuani. Caster not going to have that for a little while as Knight simply using his Zonyas will bait out all of those pieces of utility.
I want to highlight that Ruler flashing in not only like gave the kill in the objective, but now Ruler also doesn't have flash, which just makes him a very easy target in some of these fights. I will say, JDG have typically been on the front foot, so Ruler might not have to worry about that too much.
Ooh, 369 though. Setting up, no follow-up with the abscond duck from Knight. That was the explosive cast that came out. Yeah, so that goes down, and JDG still trying to continue with his pick, but Lyric, people are separating a bit. Ruler's not here. Missing thinking about going back. The arrow almost off cooldown, but there's a lot to keep track of here because WeiboGaming are getting very ambitious at this point in the game.
Weibo now.
Oh, wait. Tidal wave, and guess what? Guess what? They reset. WeiboGaming reset, and they found Xiaohu and Chris on the back end. JDG with the pixel-perfect timing, it feels like.
The patience paid off. Weibo, why are you there when the rest of your team is already gone? Now this should be a Baron for the side of JDG. The Shy Carcel, they're going to try to do something about it.
Light is coming in, but Lyric, it's a 5 versus 3. I'm not sure what to expect here as Collective Prison locks down. Knight going to be jumping in as well. The Shy buying some time. He'll get out with a slither of HP as the rest of JDG zone off while Kanavi, Ruler, keep hitting away at that Baron, trying to take us to a game number 3. In Caster goes out after the Baron is down. The 3 members tried, but it's perfect from JDG in the end, fixing up this game, and this Baron might be sealing the deal, Lyric, pretty soon.
I think it will, which is why Carson felt so pressured to just try and run right past the members of JDG and go for it. We're going to see here, though, Crisp and Xiaohu trying to finish clearing off vision. They didn't expect the other members of JDG to be waiting the wings. I believe they did just see Knight pushing in that way top, though, so I don't know why they didn't feel more cautious and more pressured. But JDG make them pay for that, turning it right into a Baron. Now they're going to be able to start going for some of the siege. Ruler this time around is on that poke forest like we highlighted earlier, sitting at 3 items, laying down those arrows, missing, can set up the picks as well with the enchanted crystal arrow.
Yeah.
So this is where we really need to see what JDG are able to do.
In our match of the week, JDG look like they're going to be taking the distance, which is always a pleasure, but the way this game is kind of enveloped has been so strange, considering that patient play from JDG, as you said, found a perfect window. And now, running down mid, Baron's going to be hitting up all this standing gold in the bottom lane too. Knight should be getting in a push really soon, and Lyric, I mean, this Baron power play is going to run to 4K at least, as base should be next here. But how do you break it? There is still a lot of wave clear on the side of WeiboGaming, but maybe not enough at this point.
No, and it seems like Weibo realized they just need to try and set up some kind of pick, which is what Cars was hoping for if other members would come back to mid lane, but they didn't. And now, I mean, the siege coming down bot side.
Tidal wave is good. There's a reverse one from Knight as well. Golden yet again. Drummore brings in Xiaohu. Flash away from Knight. Kanavi, that's just a clone. As there's good AoE. Once again, Xiaohu feels like he's the driving force of Weibo here in this game. The defense still strong as Baron's going to give it an enhanced recall. But look, meanwhile, mid. This guy, this drunken, rampant man, is running down this turret and now setting the engage. Explosive cast separates the team. Teleport's brought in Knight yet again. The culling stolen away. The Shy and Light are forced back, but the flash a little bit too late. The arrow comes in as well. And JDG to take us to the distance. This game feels just about right to even things up in our match of the week.
JDG, other than what really was, in my mind, one misstep coming out in that team fight where Weibo got a few picks when, you know, Ruler flashed in and a few other people went down. It really has just been a solid game overall. The Shy getting punished in early game. The Shy and Karsa kind of their pairing there, their synergy, how they're working together. We saw that have some missteps as well, and that's one of the things I think for Weibo overall has looked like it hasn't solidified yet with these two players joining forces. Karsa has looked much better, either like playing with or around Xiaohu, which makes sense. 2019 and 2018 RNG, they work together, and even with bot lane, so some areas Weibo definitely need to shore up, and JDG staying true. If they get those early game leads, this team is terrifying and can snowball.
Just clean as you like, honestly. Maybe clean, not the right word to use, coach, but definitely some great macro play. Dominant is good. I like Dominant as this is going on for at least a year. Like trying to send back some damage, but no one wants to die. And honestly, neither do I, Lyric. Yeah. Live forever if I could.
Sounds good.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
real.
I hope that for everybody is.
Yeah, dude.
You know, I like to say the clean, like, again, there have been some mistakes, but always in the driver's seat this game is just where JDG has been. Always in control, so definitely pushing this forward as Weibo still fishing for those opportunities. But it feels like with the super flooding in mid, with the lack of care coming out from 369, just, you know, body slamming forward at any moment, that they can just go for it. Great play with that Realm Mark to even guarantee that this next inhibitor turret going down.
Minions in, and Explosive Cast might be trying to end this one as well. Arrow comes in, a lot of tanky members, but Cast are getting shredded down. JDG just finding that simple couple of picks that'll lead him to the door of the Nexus. But so far, WeiboGaming are still channeling around some of that poke. Lyric, this game is still going. I mean, WeiboGaming putting up one hell of a fight, but JDG, I guess, struggling at this end to get the final nail in the coffin?
No, I mean, you think about it, right? Mid inhibitor's down, they just guaranteed bot inhibitor. If they felt, I'm surprised they don't feel more comfortable to even, like, opt into, like, pushing top inhib right now. Weibo!
What? I mean, they just appeared out of nowhere, but already it's turning on its head a bit as Carson said. The Shy's next, and you know what? An attempt from WeiboGaming. That was their Hail Mary.
That was the best Hail Mary I've seen. Oh my God.
What a way to go out.
Yeah. That was mojo. That was pure mojo right there. Is the light now. I'm going to be the last to go down. I don't know if they had vision to work with in that play. That play went horribly wrong. It just means the game is over. But that is the kind of energy you love to see.
Dude, again, probably sitting in base, we're like, man, what? Let's actually go out with pride, and you definitely think they did. JDG, though, will take us to a game number 3. This has been their game for quite a while now. Who knows what the next one's going to bring, as this time around, Ruler gets a bit more respect. Despite that flashy play before, as Knights change, I don't know why Silas still does that. Look, I do know why it's going to a game 3.
An alternative universe. Well, again, I don't know if they actually had vision there, like, spotted how many of them were there, but you're just like, yo, we know they're backing off. Let's Realm Warp just onto them and hope for the best. So let's hope we Realm Warp straight onto Ruler and we'll see. In that world, they do it. Both of them go down. Bam! You pivot that into, oh, wait, I don't think Baron or Dragon were up, so I actually don't